October is finally here, which means the leaves are changing color, the air is chilled, and the sun is setting earlier. Now that we're weeks away from Halloween, I thought it would be a good idea to discuss some of my favorite horror movies to watch during the season of the witch. With that in mind, here are my top 5 Halloween movies.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Tim Burton's Beetlejuice was a movie that lived in my childhood in snippets caught on TV. You know, back when this disclaimer would precede a movie on TV. As I got older, Beetlejuice always stayed in the Halloween watch rotation. The German expressionism of the afterlife, the wonderful props, practical effects, and costumes, all added to an experience that feels perfectly fit for this time of year. A fantastic cast and anachronistic Harry Belafonte needle drops drive this mostly plotless adventure and give it the personality that has kept this film alive all these years later. The titular character is played perfectly by Michael Keaton, who chaotically wraps this whole thing up, making a memorable performance in roughly 17 minutes on screen. Throughout the early aughts, British comedy was making waves in America. The biggest wave for me was Edgar Wright's film Shaun of the Dead. It's a wonderful parody of George Romero's zombie films that pokes fun at the genre while also showing love and reverence for it, something Wright is exceptionally good at doing. The film is genuinely frightening at times, and the comedy works well not to undercut it. Wright is exceptionally good at walking a tightrope between starkly contrasting tones. The snappy editing, the creative technical choices, the red, and a surprising amount of heart make this a perfect rewatch every Halloween. Scream was a film I didn't get into until high school, but the poster and DVD case were so ingrained in my memory as a child. When I finally sat down to watch this film, I was blown away. I had never seen a horror movie, much less any movie by that age, with this much meta-commentary and self-awareness. Much of that is attributed to the film's writer, Kevin Williamson. Directed by horror master Wes Craven, this film takes whodunit mystery and slasher horror to a new level, with a shock ending that's so good it's worth watching again and again, even when you know how it plays out.
What's the matter, Sidney? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Ghostbusters was a seminal film for me as a child. The cool jumpsuits and the proton packs made me want to be one when I grew up. The film follows Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson as the titular Ghostbusters, making a name and a buck for themselves in New York City. Much like its plot, the dialogue is very loose and free-flowing, with each line as memorable as the last. The movie's climax is iconic thanks to the great use of miniatures and practical effects. It's a straight-up comedy with funny dialogue and slapstick humor, but when it intends to scare, it's equally as effective. That's why Ghostbusters will be in my Halloween movie rotation year after year. This brings me to my last movie on the list, but before I go, let me give you a lengthy honorable mention. My number one film, with a bullet, is John Carpenter's Halloween. The cold open is effectively chilling as we see from the point of view of an unknown person walking through a house. We see them put a Halloween mask over the camera and grab a kitchen knife as they slowly make their way to an upstairs bedroom and stab a young woman to death. The POV shot continues as they walk out the front door until a police officer removes the mask from the camera. For the first time, the film cuts and we understand that we're seeing through the eyes of 6-year-old Michael Myers as he's killed his older sister. This eerie opening is bolstered further by the opening credits that give John Carpenter's iconic score. This film plays off the suburban fear of the boogeyman walking your streets, and what if that boogeyman used to live down the street? It's as effective today as it was in 1978. I go back to so many Carpenter films for rewatches, but I've seen none more than his first film, Halloween. So that's it. We've reached the end of the list. What's your favorite scary movie? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, I've been Barista Bran, and have a spooky Halloween.